Okay, this is a recording just to do a little review of how to find the parts of a parabola from an equation using any of these calculators, TI-83, TI-83 plus, TI-84, and then I'll probably show just a little bit at the end about how to use the app because there's a few of you maybe use the Graphing Calc app phone, which is a great one. Now this one I have particularly is a TI-83 plus, but these are all so similar. You know, the buttons and the layout is very, very similar. There might be some slight changes. Now, when you're working with this particular calculator, where from the Casio, we're probably going to find the vertex first. What's easier to do, this is an easier way to find the vertex, is to go ahead and find the axis of symmetry first. Now, from the axis of symmetry, I'm going to teach you today is this little formula that will make this easier. And the axis of symmetry comes from this formula, negative b over 2a. And I want you to say that with me 3 times. X equals negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a, negative b over 2a. Say it to yourself over and over. Now, what do you mean b and a? So let's talk about this. I'm going to take this equation, negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 10, and tell you that it's written in standard form. And standard form is this one right here. ax squared plus bx plus c. So it's written with the x squared, then the x, then the constant. So here, this is your a, this is your b, and this is your c. So for this one, a is the coefficient, or the number in front of x squared. So a is negative 2. B is the coefficient of the x. Now you want to make sure you look to see if it's positive or negative. So look, we have to take that negative. So B is negative 12, and C happens to be negative 10. So that's how you get the A, B, and C. And again, what I'm going to look for is we're going to practice using the axis of symmetry, which has this little formula. Say it to me. I can't hear you, but hopefully you said it out loud to yourself. Negative b over 2a. So I'm going to go the opposite of b. So the negative of a negative is positive, or the opposite of this negative number means this is a positive 12. Now 2a, so I'm going to go 2 times whatever a is. A is negative 2. So when you put that in, I need to put parentheses. So this is 12 over negative 4 or negative 3. So the axis of symmetry for this one is x equals negative 3. And again, I got the negative 3 from calculating negative b over 2a. The opposite of the b divided by twice the coefficient of a, twice whatever a is. And that is the axis of symmetry. Now, what makes this easier is that this is the first number of the vertex. And this is going to make, by calculating this negative 3 the way we just did, it makes it easier to find the vertex on this calculator. So let me turn it on. Now, just about everything starts on this calculator with this button. It's the first button, and it's y equals. So I've already typed it in. Now, I want to make sure that you understand when I type this in, at the very beginning, if you see a negative sign, you use the parentheses 1. The in-between ones are these. So if if you get wrong answers or if it gives you an error, make sure that you're using the correct negative signs. You can see this one's a little bit smaller and this one's a little bit bigger. And so -2, I did, let me just show you, -2x squared minus 12x minus 10, and I pushed enter. Now, most things we're going to find on either, we're going to either find on the graph or the table. Now, they're on the same button. Graph is written on top of the button in white, and table is written above it with yellow. Now, what I want to do to find the vertex is I want to go to the table. The table is where it tells me the y that goes with that x. So to get to it, I need to push the yellow button. So I'm going to go second table, and wherever you are, you need to you're going to either use the arrow up or arrow down, but I'm going to look for, until I get -3. Bing. There it is. Well, -3, 8. And so there's my vertex. Now to find the roots, this is why this table is here, because to find the roots, you need to look for where the zeros show up in the y-axis. So I need to look here for the zeros, and there's the first one. Here's the 0, is -5. And there's another one. Now, if they don't, I got lucky because they both appear without me searching too much. You might have to just look up and down until you find that one. So, and that's one of the reasons they call another name for roots is zeros, because you're looking for where it is 0. My nails look dirty. They're really not dirty. It just, the camera makes them look that way, I promise. Now this is easy on this calculator because I'm already at the table, and to find 2 other points. And I set it, and let me write it again. I don't want to repeat this point or this point or this point. I already have these 3 points, and I can graph them. 1, 2, 3. There's -3, 8. And the zeros are x-intercepts, so they just stay right here on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to look for the numbers that are less than 10, because this graph paper only goes 10 in every direction. So I'm going to find ones that, well, that's not too bad, but I want to stay away from this one with the 24. Just scroll until you find ones. And here's a -4, 6, and -2, 6. And now I have 2 other points that are really good. -2, 6, -4, 6. And you have more dots that you can use to graph a very specific and detailed graph. Now this is what we did last week. We looked at finding these parts, either just by looking at a graph, and in particular from an equation, to build this very specific graph. Now the lesson in the other video, we're going to be general. We're just going to do sketches of graphs, not so detailed. But I'm going to go ahead and continue because this is something relatively new, this x equals -b over 2a. And just to give a little bit more practice, because it is a very easy way to go then, once you have that number, then to go find it in the table to find your vertex. But let's practice a little bit. So let's look at this one, and I want you to tell me what's A, what's B, and what's C. And remember that sometimes the numbers are invisible. Let's see, I'm pausing so you can think through your answers. A, she's got 1, it's invisible. B, make sure you get the negative. And C is 5. Now, what am I using to find the, we use this mainly to do this formula, x equals negative b over 2a. Say it again to yourself, negative b over 2a. So I'm going to take the opposite of the b, which is 3, and I'm going to divide it by twice a. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 1. So this is 3/2, or 1.5. Now you probably won't get like one that's, I made these up real quick, so you're probably not going to get the ones with decimals when we do this for real, but let's practice another one. Now this is again, let me see if I can get you to focus on that without looking at so much. What's A, what's B, and what's C? Now, you only see 2 parts, so I want to make sure that you know what's what. So A is for the x squared. B is for the x. So B is 4. And C is the constant. There is none, so that means C is 0. And negative b over 2a. Which one is b? Find the opposite of it. And then I'm going to go 2 times a. The top is negative 4, the bottom is negative 4. In a fraction, if the numerator and the denominator are the same number, it's equal to 1. What's A? What's B? What's C? There's A, there's B, there's C. Now, see if you can, and pause the video if you want to practice along, just to test yourself. We're going to find the axis of symmetry, which means we're finding the x-coordinate of the vertex at the same time. What's the formula? I heard it that time. You said it. Negative b over 2a. Okay, I'm teasing. Opposite of b. So make sure if it's positive, this is negative, or vice versa. And then 2 times whatever a is. So this is negative 5, and this is negative 2. Now the 2 negatives cancel. So another way to write that is 5 over 2, or 2.5. Mostly you're going to get ones that are whole numbers, but just to practice how to find that. Now I want you to look at one more, because this can be a tricky one. What's A, what's B, what's C? Remember, A is for the x squared, so A is 3. Let me skip a space. Now, B is for the x. Is this B? No, B is 0. The 6 is the constant. It's the number without an x. So this is a little tricky. This is A. There is no B, so it's 0. And this is the C. I'm going to go ahead and practice that formula. This is the last one. X equals what? Negative b over 2a. Now, just be clear, opposite of 0 is still 0. Doesn't matter what's underneath here. It's 2 times 3. It's 6, but it doesn't matter. This is 0. Now once again, so this is the axis of symmetry. That's what we're finding. And what it also does is tells me where to look for the vertex. So here the vertex is 0 something. This one, the vertex is 2.5 something. Here the vertex is 1 something. So look for the 1. This vertex is 1.5 something, and you find that one. Where can you look for these? In the table. Now the table, you have to do something fancy to find the 1.5 and 2.5, but we're not going to get, you won't have those. I just wanted to give you some practice with how to find the A, the B, and the C, and calculate negative B over 2A. And that's a trick that should help you out. Hope that works for you.